She's still be getting signal. I just thought, well, I didn't understand that.
Is it right? Ready? Push button, Prabhu. Oh. You should come forward to play on the ganga.
Okay, here we go.
Begin, don't make late.
Chanting the name of the Lord. Chanting, chanting the name of the Lord. Chanting, chanting the name of the Lord. Chanting, chanting the name of the Lord. Hiranyakasi Bhuvoki Nibo Vanvosi Ibadan Virgo Samapo Immortality. Not to die in the day, not to die in the night, not to die in the land, not to die in the sea, not to die by animal, not to die by man. He wanted to live eternally. Naste boy de boti, Osanu Husinan King, his father's side and joy was he, till he heard him sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo bolo, chanting, chanting the name of the Lord. Chanting, oh Lord, chanting the name of the Lord. Chanting, chanting the name of the Lord. Chanting, chanting the name of the Lord. This chanting made that king so mad, he tried to kill his son. Well, I kept chanting Krishna's name, it could not be done. He threw him to demons that boiling in oil, put him out in the wind and rain. Well, I kept chanting Krishna's name, but it was done in vain. Chaitanya Swasti Puranya Salatis. He's like a column with a fist. Put a Singapir. He goes in by day, goes in by night, goes in on land, he goes in on sea. Was not by animal, was not by man. He was killed by the supreme personality. Follow, follow! Chanting, chanting, chanting the names of the Lord. 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govardhana, Tola Maharaj.
हम बुद्धि प्रभु आयतम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिसे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालयै कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय सर्वभक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमन्ते तमतेतकृत्यम् द्वैपायनो विरहकातर्याजुराव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया सर्वोऽभिनेदु तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतु। तवैवास्मि न दिवानितया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे तन्मय माम शरणन्ति चे। First of all, I koti dandot pranam into lotus feet of my spiritual master, Nitya-lila Pravesh from Vishnu Krishna Bhakti Pradyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and said koti dandot pranam in the lotus feet of my Shiksha Guru, that they could be liberated from the suffering. Vati Kriya, all this activity, if it is done for Krishna, to please Krishna, then they are bhakti, otherwise not bhakti. Also in Srimad Bhagavad Gita has been told, Savai Punsan Paro Dharma, Jato Bhakti Radukhaye Ahetukya Bhaktavahita Jabhakti Purushottam. Here he has told two things. One Sarupa Lakshan and other Tatatha Lakshan. Sarupa Lakshan means?
If it shakes and the head goes off, so that's the reason I guess. Because it shakes, without the tripod. So.
That?
Where is it from?
What is Param Dharma?
Hotel.
No, in the car.
Param Dharma means most highest, supreme dharma of Jeev. Savai Punsan Paro Dharma. Here Punsan means ladies, men, creatures, Pasu, Pakshi, Keet, Patang, all together. They have right to do bhajan. So, Savai Punsan Paro Dharma. So this is only one method.
Can you go on TV?
No other.
Can we see how different it is?
That is why he has told, Savai Nishyarthi.
But the sound is not coming.
Sure, definitely. And other time, no way. Savai Punsan Paro Dharmo Jato Bhakti Adhokkhari. Supreme Lord, who is not invisible by mind, eyes, avan manaso gochara, adhokkhari.
What is it saying?
Aparad Krishna. His service without any worldly gain.
Can you tell him to feed the sound from the phone conference?
But Srila Goswami, he had learned from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, himself Krishna and Radhika, both combined, and he made a very, very critical definition of bhakti. What is that? Anya Vilasita Sanya. Jnana Karma Jnana Pratam Anukulle Krishna Nusiranam Bhakti Rusana. You should all try to know its meaning, hear its meaning, and engage yourself in that kind of bhakti. You should tell the meaning. That Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has done.
Gurave Gauri Sandhya Radhikaya Jadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhattaya Sattvattaya Namo Namaha. So this verse is described to be the Paribhasa, the definition verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai Pumsam Parodharma Yatir Bhakti Yadopsade Hoitiki Apatiyat Yanatma Samprasidati. So Guru Maharaj was just explaining, Srila Goswami says Savai. Savai means definitely, not maybe, could be, perhaps. It's Savai Pum or Anya Vilas. Anya Vilas Sunyam Jnana Karmali Navitam Anukulena Krishna Anusilanam. So Sri Rupa Goswami gives, there are many different definitions of bhakti that have been given. For example, Savai Iswaratat Anurakta, that supreme absorption in the absolute Lord is called bhakti. Also it's been described Saru Parivanen Muktam Tatpara Taprena Nimalam Rishi Kena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Vishate. Has also been described in other places. What is the definition of devotion? That when the living entity, the soul becomes free from his material attachments or his material identity, and with his spiritual senses engages in the service of the senses of the Supreme Lord. This has also been described to be called bhakti. Isti Swarisika Raga Paramaveshita Tata. Absorption in the Supreme Lord has also been given as one definition of devotion. Yet, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has said, despite the many definitions of devotion that are given in Shastra, that Sri Rupa Goswami has given the topmost definition of devotion. What you can find in other definitions are also included in Rupa Goswami's Anya Vilasita Sunyam, but Rupa Goswami has given something which has not been given in other verses. Therefore, this has been given by Sri Rupa Goswami in his book, Sri Bhakti Vasamrita Sindhu. So there he says, Anya Vilasita. First, there is the intrinsic qualities of devotion, or the internal characteristics of devotion. He's also given two symptoms that are externally associated with devotion. So Krishna Anusilanam Bhaktir Utsame. Sri Rupa Goswami has said that devotion performed by the activities of the body, mind and words, as well as the cultivation of transcendental emotions performed for the happiness of Krishna, this is called Uttam Bhakti or pure devotion. So the intrinsic characteristics of this verse is Krishna Anusilam Bhakti Utsame. Anusilanam means the cultivation. Some people think that bhakti should be simply devoid of envy towards Krishna, but this is not sufficient. For example, a tree, he may not hate Krishna, but it does not mean he is performing devotion. Therefore, simply an absence of unfavorable emotions towards Krishna cannot be called bhakti. There must be some positive cultivation of activities for the happiness of Krishna. Therefore, Rupa Goswami has said, Anusilanam. Anu infers the idea that one should be performed under guidance of the spiritual master. Anu also gives the idea of there must be a continuous flow. Not only once on the Sunday feast, once a week I perform bhakti, but 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Devotion should be formed in a continuous flow under the guidance of pure Vaishnava. For the happiness of who? Not for the happiness of my wife or my children or any other living entity in this world. What to speak of even a powerful demigod like Brahma or Shiva. Rupa Goswami has rejected all these other objects of devotion and said Krishna Anusilanam. Even other incarnations like Narayan or Nrsimhadev or Bhagavan Ramchandra or Madhuresh Krishna or Dwarkadish Krishna, all have been rejected. Rupa Goswami said that Krishna, only Sri Swayam Bhagavan Prajanandan and Sri Krishna, only he is to be served, he is the object of love. Therefore, Anusilanam has two divisions, Bhavarup and Kshetrarup. Kshetrarup is of two divisions. Kshetrarup is of two divisions. One is in the stage of sadhana bhakti bhajan, one is in the stage of
Bhava Bhakti. And then Anusaran also means the cultivation of devotional sentiments that come after the stage of Bhava Bhakti. Also there is Nivritti Rup and Pravritti Rup. Means activities performed that are favorable for devotion are also to be considered devotional, and also endeavors by which one tries to avoid non-devotional sentiments or activities. This is also to be considered a cultivation of devotion. For example, on Ekadasi we should not eat grains. Therefore, Pravritti Rup means for Krishna's happiness I am giving up grains on Ekadasi, and for Krishna's happiness I am also giving up grains on Ekadasi. Does that make sense? For Krishna's happiness I will follow Ekadasi, and for Krishna's happiness I will give up grains on Ekadasi. Therefore that is also to be considered Chastarup, endeavors. Therefore activities should be performed not simply for the happiness of Krishna. Otherwise there could be an overextension of the definition or an underextension of the definition. For example, activities may be performed and Krishna may achieve happiness by those activities, but this may or may not be bhakti. The example given by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is when Krishna entered the wrestling arena of Kams Maharaj. Asane Malinam. That time the wrestlers, Charanamustik, they challenged Krishna. Oh, Krishna Balaram, you are servants of the king, Kamsa, therefore you should fight for his happiness. Therefore Krishna and Balaram tried to avoid. We are only small boys, and you guys are like mountains. This is not a fair fight. Then Charanamustik said, no, we know that you are not ordinary boys, otherwise how you could kill big demons like Putana, Adasur and Bakasur. Therefore they grabbed Krishna and began they began fighting with him, head to head, shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm, knee to knee. They were dragging each other one side to another side. That time Krishna felt great happiness, because Krishna is one type of hero, the topmost hero. Therefore sometimes he also likes to engage in fighting. This is called Bir Ras. But after Charanamustik, they were not performing their wrestling activities to give happiness to Krishna. They were performing their wrestling activities to kill Krishna. Therefore, even though Krishna felt happiness in fighting with Charanamustik, we cannot say Charanamustik were performing devotion despite Krishna's happiness. Because their mood was not to give happiness to Krishna, their mood was to try and kill him. Therefore, simply giving that Krishna may be happy by an activity may not in itself be an indication of pure devotion. There also may be an underextension of the definition. For example, Madhyasoda is tying Krishna to the grinding water and threatening to beat or blah blah, these type of things, which is not in itself pure devotion. Rupa Goswami has rejected by saying, Anya bila sita sunyam. Bhakti should be completely unmixed, it should be one-pointed and pure. Then one may say, then why Rupa Goswami has only said Anya Bilas? What is the necessity for Anya Bilas Sita? Therefore Rupa Goswami has said, sometimes a devotee, because he has no other recourse or there is some emergency, they may ask Krishna for some help. The example given of Draupadi, she was being stripped naked in the assembly of the Kurus, therefore she prayed, Rako Saranam Apto Jivato Hari. She raised her hands and prayed, Krishna, protect me. Therefore it may seem this is not devotion because she is praying to Krishna for something for herself, but Rupa Goswami said because this is in an emergency situation, therefore some concession is given. For example, I'm about to be eaten by a tiger and I pray, oh Krishna save me. Bhakti is not lost because it's an emergency. Life is in danger at that time. Also, bhakti should not be covered by gyan or karma. For example, we know there's many kirtan groups in America and all around the world. They're also chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It may look like they're performing devotion, but their end goal is to become one with God, to merge with God. Therefore, this cannot be called devotion, because if you become one with God, you cannot serve Him. Therefore, devotion is there, but it's covered by gyan, the desire for liberation. Therefore, this has been rejected also. And someone also may go to the temple, especially on the day of lottery, then he has bought a lottery ticket. Instead of giving 1 stick of incense, he waves 5 sticks of incense to Krishna. Oh Krishna, if I win the lottery, I promise I'll give you half. Did I say half? I meant 10%. Therefore, he is worshipping Krishna, he is performing service to Krishna, but his desire is his own material enjoyment. Therefore, Rupa Goswami has rejected both these things. But still, Rupa Goswami has said anavrita, because one cannot live completely without knowledge, although some people manage it. Some people cannot live completely without knowledge or without karma. For example, even breathing even eating, even sitting, even sleeping. This is called karma. Therefore, the karma which is performed in a way which is favorable to Krishna. For example, I have to sleep, otherwise how I can go to Mangalati? If I cannot eat, then I cannot perform my devotion. Therefore, karma of eating does not cover devotion as long as it's performed in a way that is favorable towards the cultivation of devotion. Therefore, Rupa Goswami has given this and so much more that I have missed out. Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karma adidavatam anukulena krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama.
Thank you. Bhutan Prabhu, to speak on this slope. Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karma. In brief, what he told.
The brief part will be easy, I think.
I want that all time, I will ask from the ladies also to speak on this subject.
Oma jnana samadandasya gyananjana savakaya chakshula nilitam jena tasmai shri gurave namaha. I'm about to show how far I have to go in my devotion because I can't even hold a candle to Damodar Maharaj's exposition on the verse. But the main point that I've taken from Damodar Maharaj and from Srila Gurudev's discussions in the past on this topic is that devotional service has to be performed without any sense of personal aggrandizement, that one has to be completely dedicated to the object of devotion, and that one should not have any mixture in one's devotion for self-gain of any type, whether that's the acquisition of knowledge, which leads one to ultimately to liberation and personalist realization, or whether that's an even lower level of approaching Krishna for some material gain. These things are not accepted as pure bhakti. When we tinge our bhakti, when we tinge our practices with some hope for personal aggrandizement, we can never obtain the object of devotion, which our acharyas are telling us is the highest goal of life. Furthermore, after we examine ourselves and ask, is our bhakti pure? Is our intention pure in what we're doing? The next question is, are we actually performing that bhakti in an uninterrupted way? So are we starting and stopping? Are we waking up in the morning and doing our whatever number of rounds or malas that we do every day, and then when we are done with our mala, we put our bead bag down and forget Krishna, or forget our Guru Seva? So everything that we do, whether it's some practical seva, some practical service for the Guru, serving the devotees, serving the holy name, serving the deity, whatever we do, we should try to cultivate within ourselves an uninterrupted flow, where in our minds and our hearts we're constantly striving in a deep meditation for the attainment of our goal. The last thing that I'll be able to say today is that the ultimate goal of pure bhakti is the thing which gives all of these other things that we could possibly hope for, and so much more. As Srila Gurudeva said in the beginning of this class, that the highest goal, the highest love and affection, the pure love of God, the pure love of Radha and Krishna, the most intimate aspects of the Supreme Lord are attained by this, this pure bhakti.
That's it. That's my humble offering.
Why not Anna Vilas Sunna? Why Anna Vilasita Sunna? Why? Oh, you can see it here and why not Allah Vilasa Sunnam? But it has been told Anna Vilasita Sunnam. He told. But you, no, he could not give attention. You Prabhu, yes. So, you should be ready for next day.
But then you have to say what the question will be. Today you have to say what the question will be tomorrow. Then we can prepare.
Really, you should understand what meaning is. To practice. I want that all should practice knowingly.
Anya Abhilash means other desires. So the desire that is required is the desire to serve Krishna and please Krishna favorably. And Anya Abhilash means any desire other than that. Any fruitive desire for any karma performed for some material activity that's going to come. Or desire for jnana, desire for mystic siddhis, desire for merging into Brahman. So under Srila Gurudeva's inspiration, Pujapad Damodar Maharaj explained that if somebody generally they have no desire, but when an emergency arises, then they may appeal to Krishna for help. Just like, for example, it is the duty of the devotee to protect his life, to protect his body. Like when Vasudev, when Devaki was being attacked by Kansa. So it's explained that the devotee has to protect his life because his life is being used in the service of Krishna. So if some external agency comes and threatens the devotee's life, then it's okay to appeal to Krishna, oh, please help me, because otherwise how I can serve you. Then one likes to protect, it's okay. Otherwise, if he doesn't, the devotee also. For example, Ambarish Maharaj, when he was confronted by Durvasa Muni, somehow or other he became Ambarish Maharaj, pulled out some of his dreadlocks, threw it on the ground, and this huge fiery demon came. So Ambarish Maharaj, actually he made appeal. It's not recorded that he made any appeal to Krishna. He just folded his hands and he waited. Oh, if Krishna wants to burn me up, it's okay. If he wants to come in the form of a demon, it's okay. Krishna didn't want. Chakra and Sudarshan Chakra burnt up the fiery demon. And then chased Durvasa Muni. But in any case, the devotee, he may appeal, but in any case he accepts Krishna's decision. Okay, if you like to protect me, it's okay. Otherwise, it's okay. Kapimanod is saying, you can kill me, you can save me, as you like, because I'm a sold-out animal. Sold-out animal to any endeavor. He's just relying completely on the master. So Anyabhilashta Shunyam Vilas, but the tendency to have these desires. In the general run of things, the devotee does not have such desires. Only in the case of emergency he may have. Jnana Karmadya Navritam. So, generally speaking, there's no need to engage in karma to improve our bhakti. Karma cannot improve. On the contrary, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains in Kadambini Srila Gurudeva was explaining during Kartik, that only when there is some mixture at least of bhakti, then can be successful, otherwise not. Similarly, only admixture of jnana, of bhakti, then jnana can be successful. Just like, for example, if somebody wants to get liberation, so they can practice for hundreds and thousands of lifetimes. But if they just chant the holy name by abha, like this, so jnana karmadya, avrita means covered, unavrita not covered. So actually we have to. Gurudeva has explained, breathing is also karma. Now we're walking backwards and forwards between the hotel and here. This is karma. We have some money or somehow or other, get some finances together to come here. This is also karma. So does that mean that our bhakti has been covered? No. Anavritam, because the whole goal is to engage in devotional service. The whole goal is to hear from the lotus mouth pure devotee. Therefore not avritam, it's anavritam. And jnana also. We have to have some knowledge. We must have knowledge. Like it said, somebody said that Aristotle said that the brain actually isn't used for thinking, it's for cooling the blood. But some modern commentator, he said, this is only true of some people. So in other words, actually we have to think, we have to have some knowledge. But if that knowledge is deep, then it's okay. The knowledge, for example, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, and the Jiva is that this jnana is necessary. Not the knowledge that the individual Jiva is actually God, or that he's actually part of Brahman. This is not necessary. But we have even this knowledge, Srila Rupa Goswami says, even this knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. Just like Srila Guru said that your Swami Maharaj, he came to teach you that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. And I've come to teach you to forget that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. But we also have to be careful because you can't, according to linguistics, you can't forget in the first place. So we artificially take Srila Gurudeva's mood, Braj's mood, that Krishna is not the Supreme Personality Godhead. Yashodamai never thinks that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. The gopis never. So we artificially think, Krishna, we don't care for Krishna. He's just a black. What do we care for Krishna? We just love Radha. This will not work. We should have tattva, just like it was explained this morning. First of all, we have tattva. If we don't have tattva, then we have to come back and learn tattva. And then by hearing from the lips of the pure devotee, his moods of loving service to Krishna in complete neglect of Krishna's Bhagavata, this will naturally sweep out these moods. Anukulyena. So, in Krishna. So what is Krishna feeling? He's feeling fear, but he's also feeling her love. Just like we have experience, sometimes we're traveling in Russia. So sometimes then the Russian devotees have to discipline us. Oh, now you have to take rest, exercise, now you have to do this, now you have to do that. Very strict, some of them very strict. But in that strictness, you can feel, oh, there's love. Just like Krishna also, he likes to, this is the beauty of the left-wing gopis. When Krishna at Kurukshetra, he met with the gopis. The gopis hadn't seen him for so long. And instead of Krishna apologizing, but oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't been back to Vrindavan, how are you, like this, he started that, oh, why are you feeling separation from me? Don't you know I'm the Supreme Person Godhead? Don't you know if you just meditate on my lotus feet, you don't feel any separation, don't you know this? And the right-wing gopis, they say, oh, very nice, thank you, we accept this. And the left-wing gopis, oh, we should engage in meditation on your lotus feet? We're trying to forget you. So strong. They're giving him the source so strongly. Chastising, like anything. And Krishna's feeling their love so much. So this is Anukul. This is Anukul. Krishna Anusilana. And, as Damodar Maharaj explained. So we have to make some effort, some endeavor. Not only physical endeavor. Srila Gurudeva is emphasizing. Sometimes people members are distributing books, so many things. So I'm performing so much service. Go back home back to Godhead at the end of this lifetime. No, we have to also chesta. That difference between Kanishtadikari, Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari is offering with mood. Kanishtadikari is like offering chunks to Krishna, chunks of matter. He's offering prakriti. Krishna doesn't need our prakriti. He just needs. He's got lovely incense, lovely fruit, lovely flowers, everything in the spiritual world. But he wants this moved from the heart. So this kind of Anushīlanam also is required. So there's so many Krishna.
Very good explanation. My Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, came in Western countries and he told everywhere, Krishna is Supreme Lord. But I have come to say, forget this, Lord. We should be Brajvasi and try to save these things. Always, he Nandan is the servant of Brajvasis, all these. Then they pardon in the lotus feet of gopis. How he is Supreme Lord? So we should try to forget forever and be one of the Brajvasis. Very good. Anukullena Krishnanu. What is an? One of the. Oh, he knows. She knows. Other. You. Stand up. No, that. Oh, you. Yes. Krishna Priya. No. Oh, yes. Krishna Priya. Yes, big lumpa. Stand up. Then how you can preach my mission? How can you preach my mission? Anukullena. Oh, somewhere. Understand what is the meaning. What do you mean by Anukullena?
That means everything that's favorable for bhakti. So unequally, we should reject everything that's unfavorable for bhakti.
Then by Anushīlanam?
Anushīlanam is like dedicating yourself to Krishna and offering everything. And rejecting everything that's unfit for your bhakti.
Try to understand and preach my mission. All ladies, all my dears and brothers, they should know all this. Then you can preach. Otherwise, what? Book distribution. This will not do. You will have to see what is the under the books. Then sit down. Now, we know from Srimad Bhagavatam that Dhruva Maharaj did austerities. He took darshan of Narayan. His bhakti is pure or not. Jeev.
Om Jnanandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Lismai Shri Gurudeva Namah. First of all, offer my respectful obeisances to my spiritual master, Vishnu Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, and then to all the Vaishnavas present here today. Srila Gurudeva is asking that Dhruva Maharaj, he took direct darshan of Narayan. He got darshan of Krishna, of God, but was his bhakti pure? does it fall under the category of this sloka that we've been discussing? Anya Vilasita Sunyam. If we understand a little bit about the history of Dhruva, he was a prince. And at that time, his father, one of his dads sit on the lap of his father. Right? And he was very hurt by this. And because of this, he went into the forest and persisted for a very long time. And then eventually Narada Rishi gave him mantra. And by performing this, he got darshan of Narayan. But during the time of his practice, what he wanted was greater than his father. A kingdom that is greater than his father. This was, Gurudeva explains in Mathura, Bhajane bhavive jaha sidite paive taha. Whatever you think of in the time of bhajan, whatever you're praying for, when you're practicing your spiritual life, in perfection you will attain this. So when he took darshan of Narayan, he realized that what he was aspiring, he was looking for, was not worthwhile. It wasn't worth it. Right? He actually said, I was looking for broken pieces of glass and I found a diamond. But he didn't want this. But at the time of his practice of bhakti, of his sadhan, he is still in Dhruv now. There. So the answer, of course, standing is no. His bhakti was not completely pure. It was not according to the sloka of Srila Rupa Goswami, Anya Vilasita Sunyam. Okay.
Now, Dhruv Bhakti is not pure. It is called Sakam Bhakti, with worldly desire. Though he is disciple of Narad, by the grace of Narad, they took Vedan. But he wanted, I should be the king of my father's property. Not this. He became the king. He became the king. No? But at the departure from this world, when chariot Iman came for him to take, then he told, I will not go. I want that my mother should be with me. And then, your mother is going, you should come. And he went. So he received a position, not in but Harilok in this Brahmanda. Ramapriya Vaikuntha, not in that. And
each of these devotees wants to show us something different. Draupadi, being one of the Pandavas, is on a higher level of bhakti than Prahlad Maharaj, because their worshipable deity is Lord Dwarkadish, who is a more complete form of the Lord than Lord Nrsimhadev. So the bhakti of Draupadi is higher. How is it that she prayed and Prahlad didn't pray? We have that verse that Srila Damodar Maharaj quoted the last line, Anukulyena Krishna Anusilanam. Anusilanam means perpetually engaged for the glorification, pleasure, welfare of Krishna. Perpetually, just like a stream of honey falling from a jar, is not broken at any time. So their desire to please Krishna is not broken even at the time when there's danger. So how is that apparent contradiction there? Even when Draupadi prayed to Krishna to save her, this was for the glorification of Krishna. Krishna showed he was in Hastinapur, he was in Dwarka, and she was praying in Hastinapur, and she was trying to protect herself, and at the same time praying to Krishna. So Krishna was running around his palace, and his queen said, "Where are you running around in circles?" He said, "Well, my devotee Draupadi is praying to me." And they said, "Why don't you go?" So he said, "She's not fully surrendered yet." And then as soon as she lifted both arms and prayed, "If you like, you can save me," then even without his shoes, he ran, because she had full dependence. So it's not that Draupadi has any less bhakti. She did it for Krishna's glorification. That's the only desire of all the devotees. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj, all of his activities are for the glorification of Krishna, and therefore he didn't pray to Krishna, knowing that Krishna would protect him, having that full dependence. So why is it said that the bhakti of Prahlad Maharaj, who is in Prema Bhakti, he's situated in Prema Bhakti, he's a Mahabhagavad, and his slokas, his verses of explanation of Krishna's glories are quoted by all great spiritual masters. In all of Srila Gurudev's tours, in every single country, he has the devotees discuss the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj to his father. He has them discuss the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj to his friends, glorifying the worship of the pure devotee, explaining how even by one's intelligence, even by the collective intelligence of others, without devotional service, one is simply engaged in the matter of chewing the chewed. Prahlad Maharaj is the one who explained that one should perfect his life by putting all over his body, smearing his body with the dust from the lotus feet of pure devotees who are completely free from all desires. Even when Prahlad Maharaj grew up, still his glories are broadcast all over the world. We hear about the success of Bali Maharaj. That success of Bali Maharaj is there due to Prahlad Maharaj's love to the Lord. Therefore the Lord showed mercy to Bali Maharaj. Even when Prahlad Maharaj became a king, the Lord was so kind, showing the greatness of Prahlad. Prahlad Maharaj was the king, and it's the king's duty to establish the principles of Varnashram and to make sure that all the Varnas and Ashrams are performing their duties properly. A king should act like a king, a Brahmin should act like a Brahmin, and it's the king's duty to make sure of this. So once he saw a Brahmin, but this Brahmin had weapons, so he challenged him. Are you a Brahmin or are you a Kshatriya? Make up your mind. You have to do one duty and do it properly. And if you don't follow my instructions and follow one particular dharma, then I'm ready to challenge you to fight. So he had a fight with this who knows Brahmin or who knows Kshatriya, and in the middle of this, he wasn't winning and this Brahmin or Kshatriya wasn't winning. And then he realized that nobody can defeat me in battle except the Lord. So he did some meditation in trance and understood that this must be my very Lord Nrsimhadev. And he saw there was a garland on this Lord Nrsimhadev, the garland that he himself had offered to his deity that morning. So he surrendered to the Lord, and the Lord said, "No, you have actually defeated me." So Prahlad Maharaj's glories are sung all over the universe. But what kind of bhakti? Because as Sripad Damodar Maharaj was explaining, Anyadi Latika Sunyam Jnana Karmadya Navatam. One's bhakti should not be covered by personal desires and by jnana or by karma. So, of course, some kind of jnana, he explained, must be there. I have to know that if I cross the street and a car is coming, I'll be killed. So jnana must be there, but it can't cover bhakti. So, Prahlad Maharaj is a jnani bhakta. That means he has knowledge or awareness of the supremacy of Lord Nrsimhadev. He, in his very, very famous prayer, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, he uttered the word Vishnu. He knew that Lord Nrsimhadev is Vishnu, and he's a worshipper of Lord Vishnu. And because of that, when Lord Nrsimhadev appeared to him, he didn't think that, well, perhaps my Lord is thirsty or sweaty from killing my father. Maybe I should wipe the perspiration off his face or offer him a drink of water. He didn't think like that because he knows my Lord is everywhere. He's all-pervading and he's all-powerful. Therefore, there's no hunger or thirst in him. There's no need for me to render personal service to him. He engaged in service of glorifying, but no personal service. This means that his bhakti was somewhat covered by jnana, not speculative jnana, not like a jnani that God is impersonal, but thinking that, or knowing that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, his pure Uttama Bhakti was covered by his knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, there are greater and greater bhaktas, like Uddhav and the Pandavas, and ultimately, beyond even bhakti, beyond these bhaktas is the residents of Vrindavan, who are fully engaged in his personal service, not at all knowing that he's the Supreme Lord.
Thank you. वो प्रहलाद महाराज प्योर भक्त, भक्तज्ञानी भक्त. His bhakti is mixed with Aishwarya Jnana. So whether he don't want any worldly desire, but anukullena sevanam, he thinks that my Supreme Lord is everywhere, very powerful. He is the father of world, creator of the world. He never tires, so no use of necessity. Or he never hungry, thirsty. So like Draupadi, he used to cook for Krishna, and Krishna used to take. So his some Aishwarya Vishya. So Prahlad Maharaj is Siddha Bhakta. But Ambarish Maharaj, not Siddha Bhakta, but he is superior in Bhakti. How? You, in brief, you could understand the gradation of Bhakti.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurudeva Namaha. So in the discussion, the gradual progression of bhakti and its stages of increasing purity, now we come to the understanding
of Ambarish Maharaj, who is a Shuddha Bhakta. He is actually following purely this verse that Srila Gurudeva is having us study, Anyapilasita Shunyam Jnana Karmadya Navritam Anakulyena Krishnanushīlanam Bhaktir Uttama. Sri Ambarish Maharaj, he was a great emperor thousands of years ago, living in Mathura. And the story is delineated of the history of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Rishi, how Durvasa Rishi attempted to kill Ambarish Maharaj. We heard that described before. And the Sudarshan Chakra of Lord Narayan was sent to protect Ambarish Maharaj. So, Ambarish Maharaj, what was his standard of worship of Krishna? Actually, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor, Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunani Varanane. Ambarish Maharaj utilized every single one of his senses in the service of Krishna in a very practical way. He was constantly thinking of Krishna 24 hours daily. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor. His mind was absorbed in the lotus feet of Krishna. Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunana Varanane. His tongue was utilized in constantly glorifying and describing the activities of Krishna. And all of his limbs of his body were also utilized. Sometimes he would be utilizing his feet to go traveling and walking on pilgrimage to the holy places where Krishna performed his pastimes. Sometimes he was utilizing his arms, even in cleansing the temple of Krishna, personally cleansing Krishna's temple. Although he was a great emperor, he did not employ someone else to do this, because if you employ someone else to do the bhakti in your temple, that does not mean that you are performing bhakti. So he personally did this worship of the Lord. His eyes were utilized in seeing the very beautiful deity forms of Krishna in the temple. His ears were utilized in hearing the glorification of the Lord. His nose was utilized in smelling the beautiful fragrance, sweet fragrance of the flowers and tulsi offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. So like this, all of his senses, his mind, his intelligence, everything was completely absorbed in Krishna 24 hours daily without any other ulterior motive. Only what has been described, Anakulyena Krishna Anushīlanam. 24 hours daily, under the guidance of his Guru and Vaishnavas, he was constantly absorbed in serving Krishna for Krishna's pleasure and happiness. So Maharaj Ambarish, he was fully absorbed in Krishna. It is stated, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor. Krishna was his worshipable Lord, his Ishtadev. And he was also living. Where was he living? In Mathura, the eternal abode of Krishna, the transcendental holy Dham of the Supreme Lord. So Ambarish Maharaj, he was protected by the Supreme Lord when someone tried to attack him, and as was described, he was unmoved by this. He was not disturbed, he was not fearful, because his whole consciousness, all of his desires were completely merged with the will of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, if Krishna wants to kill me, I accept that. If Krishna wants to protect me, let it be. So this was Maharaj Ambarish's mood. And therefore, when Durvasa Rishi came to see, finally, first of all, he approached for protection to Lord Brahma, then to Lord Shiva. Both of them told him, I cannot protect you. The Sudarshan Chakra is coming from Lord Narayan. You have to go there yourself. And then at that time, he finally went and approached Lord Narayan directly. And what did Lord Narayan say to him? He said, actually, my bhakta is my very heart and soul. And I am not independent of my bhakta. So, my bhakta is always absorbed in thinking of me. And I am completely absorbed in thinking of him. In this way, Lord Narayan told Durvasa Rishi, you must go to the lotus feet of Maharaj Ambarish, and there you will have to fall at his feet and beg forgiveness. So this is what Durvasa Rishi did. He came there, traveling back again, and fell at the lotus feet of Ambarish. Ambarish Maharaj, during the time that Durvasa Rishi was traveling throughout the universe, Ambarish Maharaj did not even break his fast of Ekadasi. He stayed put in that same place, and constantly he was praying to the Sudarshan Chakra of the Lord. And it was because of this reason that the Sudarshan Chakra did not finally kill Durvasa Rishi. So when Durvasa Rishi came and fell at the lotus feet of Ambarish Maharaj, then Ambarish Maharaj prayed directly to Sudarshan Chakra, and he was appeased, and then he left that place. And then, Durvasa Rishi, he was so deeply moved by witnessing this great quality of the pure devotee. He said, Oho Ananta Dasanam, now I have seen today with my very own eyes the greatness of the servants of the Supreme Lord, who is known as Ananta, the Supreme Unlimited Lord. Now I have seen that even though I wanted to kill him, he only wanted my benefit. So Maharaj Ambarish was glorified in this way by Durvasa Rishi, and this story in Srimad Bhagavatam is showing us the superior position of Ambarish Maharaj, even to that of Prahlad Maharaj. Although Prahlad Maharaj is a Siddha, he's a perfected personality. He has fully realized the Supreme Lord, and he was protected directly by Lord Nishingadev. Lord Nishingadev personally appeared to protect him. So he is not a sadhaka who is only practicing to attain perfection, but he has actually attained that stage. But Ambarish Maharaj, still he is in the level of sadhaka, that he is performing sadhana. Sadhana means spiritual practices to attain perfection, siddha. But yet, Ambarish Maharaj's position is considered superior to that of Prahlad Maharaj. Why? Because as has been described, Prahlad Maharaj had some mixture of jnana, knowledge about the Supreme Lord. That knowledge is not a covering of his bhakti, as has been described, jnana karma dhyanavritam. The knowledge did not cover his bhakti, because he was not on the material level. He was pure and transcendental, no material desires, only desires to please the Supreme Lord. But his conception of the Supreme Lord and how to please him and how to serve him was not as high as that of Ambarish Maharaj, because he had Jnana Mishra. He realized the supreme Aishwarya of the Supreme Lord, that he is everywhere, he knows everything, he is eternal, he has no material body, he does not need to eat, to drink, or anything, he has no material needs. And in this way, being absorbed in this transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Lord, his bhakti was somewhat weakened by this knowledge, therefore he did not perform any personal services to the Lord, like we hear about Ambarish Maharaj personally serving the deity form of the Lord in the temple and using all of his senses to do so many services. So that's why Ambarish Maharaj is considered superior position to Prahlad Maharaj, because of the type of bhakti that he was performing. It is more intimate, and it is directed towards Krishna in Braja, in Vrindavan. His Ishtadev is also of a superior position to that of Prahlad Maharaj, who is worshipping Vaikuntha Narayan. So like this, Srila Gurudeva is explaining to us that we must understand the gradations of bhakti. First we have to understand what is Uttam Bhakti, the definition of that which we have studied today in so many different ways. So many speakers have described all the details of that verse written by Rupa Goswami. We must understand, because if we do not perform Uttam Bhakti, pure Bhakti, then we will not receive the result. Only by Uttam Bhakti, as it is stated, Srila Gurudeva stated in the first verse that he quoted today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, Yato Bhaktir Adhokshaje, Ahoychuti Apratihata, Ye Atma Samprasidati. Atma Samprasidati means that the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Paramatma, he will be completely satisfied. Only when Krishna is completely satisfied by one's bhakti can it be considered Uttam Bhakti, topmost, pure bhakti. So in this way, by studying the gradations of bhaktas and understanding their corresponding levels and qualities and services and moods, then we can understand this differentiation. And then when we study, as Gurudeva is leading us, ultimately to understand the highest bhakti of the Vishvasis, who have completely no knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. They love Him only as their dearmost friend, their dearmost child, their dearmost beloved. And in this way, their bhakti is the very, very topmost type of Uttam Bhakti. So in this way, by the mercy of Srila Gurudeva and by the mercy of all of our Vaishnava Acharyas, especially Srila Sanatana Goswami, who all of this discussion is based upon his Brihad Bhagavatamritam, which Srila Gurudeva has lectured on many, many times in his tours, we begin to understand this process of attaining Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti. Now this will be ready from upload. But you should stand up and you should do the creation by your life. Oh, I told you yesterday that you should be ready. But then tomorrow. So just to finish. And Manjari is here. Manjari. Swearing Manjari. Manjari should come here. Right away. Then you. Kirtan, Durga, Hari Hari, Sitale, Janama Kumar. Oh, Sitale, Janama Kumar. And that should be ready.
Rama play should start immediately. Just before we start the play, I'd like to say we'd like to welcome all the devotees from all over the world. They've come from South America, Mexico, all over the United States, all over Europe, Russia, and we've assembled for one reason, and that is to celebrate the appearance of our beloved Gurudeva. Can I get a Jai Gurudeva? Can I get a Jai Gurudeva? This is the most blessed event. Without this day, where would we be? This morning for me, Shamarani gave a beautiful class, followed by Damodar's class. Tomorrow, Pujapad, Madhav Maharaj will be giving a class at 7 a.m. and you will have a very special message from Gurudeva. We want all to come. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So they didn't be here at 7, you'll be here at 4. All right, you go.
Where the supreme personality of Godhead in his original threefold linear form of Krishna, or Shamsundar, eternally engages in loving pastime with his most intimate devotion. Krishna also presides over the Vaikuntha, but not in his original form. He expands himself into his four-armed form, known as Narayan or Vishnu. Thus, he presides over all the Vaikuntha planets. On one of these blissful Vaikuntha planets, two gatekeepers of Lord Narayan, known as Jai and Jidai, were pondering how they could better serve the Lord.
Like this the Lord, only a very confidential devotee of the Lord. We need to go to the material world, serve the Lord as needed. Vaikuntha bodies are spiritual, and once you're here, you cannot fall down. Lord Vishnu travels to the material world by Yoga Maya. Maybe she'll arrange for us to serve him instead. We know the Lord wants to fight, but we can't just act like demons. He must become demons. Yes, we must become demons.
The sons of Brahma, who are known as the Kumaras, came to visit Lord Narayan, the supreme personality of Godhead. The Kumaras are great sages who are always seen traveling together throughout the universes. Although many thousands of years old, they appear as only small boys of about 5 or 6 years old. In this way, the four Kumaras came to pay their respects to Lord Narayan in his beautiful palace of Touchstone.
Stop! Not just anyone could enter into the palace of Lord Narayan. air, fire, water, and earth, until they reach this material universe. It is night, and the wind is howling from the sky. Blood and cuts are falling. The whole planet is shaking with earthquakes. It is causing the ground to crack open. This night, the terrible demon, Hiranyakashipu, is being born. From his very birth, Hiranyakashipu was a great demon who wanted more material wealth and power than anyone else. For 125 years, he performed severe austerity by standing on the tips of his toes. He became more and more powerful until it looked as if he would destroy the entire universe. Finally, the demigods begged Lord Brahma to come down to earth and stop him from creating further destruction.
O son of Prajapamunni, please get up. I've been so much astonished to see your endurance, in spite of being bitten and eaten by so many worms and ants. Your life air is circulating within your bones. Certainly this is so wonderful. Now even saintly persons like Gurudeva, who were born previously, they could not perform such severe austerity. Who within the 3D world could perform such austerity? Who could sustain their life hundreds of years without even drinking water? Your austerity, your performance of austerity has now become perfect. Mother Hiranyakashipu, please get up. You may now ask from me any benediction. Oh, my Lord. Oh, original personality within this universe, Lord Brahma. You are fully cognizant and can apply your mind and realize intelligence in the creation of this cosmic manifestation. You are beginningless, endless, omniscient, and beyond the limits of space and time. O my Lord, O best of the givers of benedictions, if you would kindly grant me the benediction that I desire, then let me not meet death from any of the living entities created by you. Granted. Then grant me this, that I may not be killed on the ground or in the sky. That's all right. Then grant me this, that I may not be killed during the day or during the night. I comply. Then grant me this, that I may not be killed inside or outside. Of course, that's all right. Then grant me this, that I may not be killed by a man or beast. That's all right. And grant me this, that I may not be killed by any weapon. Of course, that's all right. And grant me this, I want sole dominion over all living entities and their presiding deities. I want all the glory that comes from this position. Furthermore, I
want all mystic powers, for these cannot be lost at any time. Oh, Virani Precious Guru, these benedictions that you ask for are impossible to be had by most every man. My dear son, Virani Precious Guru, right now, you will be the one. I'm going to grant you your boon. I'm going to fulfill your wish. Right now. Oh, thank you! Now I'm immortal! I'm immortal! Jack, close your portal! I Hiranya Kashi am free. And now everyone worship me.
Of the entire universe. Indeed, that great Phoenix conquered all the planets in the three worlds, upper, middle, and lower. Meanwhile, the demigod is being overwhelmed with fear, for Hiranyakashipu's power was spreading rapidly throughout the universe, endangering the residents of the heavenly planets. Oh, they kidnapped his pregnant wife, Alali. They were planning to execute her child, believing that he would be a greater king than his father.
Come here now. Come here. You must help. Oh, Lisa. King the demigod. Where are you going with this state lady? What are you doing to her? She is certainly dinner. Oh, my fortunate one. This state lady is the husband of another. You should immediately release her. Oh, daughter Queen. This case lady carries in her womb a snake, the son of Hiranyakashipu. If this child is let be born, surely will destroy the whole universe. Therefore, it's important that she stays in my custody until the child is delivered. Then I'll let her go. No, my dear demigod. This woman is carrying a devotee of Krishna. So powerful, yet you could not kill him or hurt him, even if you wanted to. Come, King Shade, you must come to my ashram. There you will be protected, and you can remain in